What's up, guys? I'm Chris, and today you're watching a magic review on The Frame by TCC and Treey. The Frame is a wearable piece of magic. Very nice wearable piece of magic. I'll give you a close-up here. I'm just wearing it for a second to show what this does. So you can borrow a finger ring. Now, I do need more practice with this for it to become as quick as possible and as smooth as possible. So you borrow a finger ring. Obviously, the ring isn't gimmicked, and really neither is the frame. So you borrow that. A little bit of cover. And when you remove it, the ring is impossibly on your necklace. Now, a nice way of getting this off, as seen in the trailer, right, is to bring it up, pull it off like that. So, like I said, I just got this very, very recently. So, should I have performed it? I don't know. I'll look at it before I actually post it to make sure that I didn't completely give anything away. But I did want to do just a quick performance to show you that it's not difficult. It just is going to take a bit of practice to make it as smooth as it looks in the trailer, to where, you basically cover it and it's done almost instantaneously. Obviously, it's taking me a bit longer to do that because I haven't had a ton of time with it yet. I wanted to get the review out while the Kickstarter is still in the process, so that if you want to buy this, you can do it at a better price. So anyway, that's what the frame is. It's a wearable piece of magic. It allows you to perform something with a borrowed object, so a borrowed ring, which a lot of people have. And even if you aren't able to borrow a ring, you can use this as part of your ring routine, right? So maybe you do the ring thing, or maybe you perform something with maybe Divorce by Justin Miller. That's a great ring routine. There's a lot of great ring magic out there. I think that this also works well with the one where, it ends up on this finger, comes through, and then, right, it's penetrating flesh and bone. Banded by Garrett Thomas, right? All of these would work very well in combination with this. So that's what the frame is. What's the quality? So the quality on this is really good. It's made out of, I think, 925 silver. So it's real silver. It's both the, not band, I don't know what you call it, the chain and the frame itself is made out of silver. Very high detail. I'll try to get you a good visual here. Let's hold her straight for now. Suppose you could also use this for a pendulum. I bet you it would work. But you have the magician's hand holding the wand, and then some pretty neat symbols on there. Looks good. And on the back, there's also a King of Diamonds reveal. So there's the K, and there's the diamond. Right, so the quality is really good. I hope that you're able to see the quality of this. Now, with that said, the quality is good. It's cool that it's actual silver, and that's also why you're going to see a little bit of a higher price on this. But I'm also going to touch on something while I speak of quality. So although the quality is great, one thing that I would advise against, that it's mentioned it can do, and it can, but one thing I would advise against is using the King of Diamonds as a blister effect. Now, the reason being is that because this is silver, it's soft. So I did try to do the blister effect, right? And what happened was, in pushing to do that, this closed. because it's not a solid design, and it can't be because of how this is designed to work. So that is one, I guess, weak point to not the design, because like I said, the design it is very good for, to accomplish what it needs to. It couldn't be done if this were solid, right? So the design is the way it has to be. But because it's silver and it's soft, I would advise against the blister effect, because I feel like if you're doing that and this closes and you need to open it again and it closes and opens again, then I think that's going to stress the bottom out too much to where it could break. Now, I don't know. I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to test that out. I'm not going to push and pull this, and because I like it. I think it's a beautiful piece, very well made, very well done. So I don't know. I think it is elegant and nice that it is silver, but I think I may have preferred if this was a steel, just because I believe that because the silver is soft, this could be a breaking point. It could be quite fragile. And because this is a necklace, right, you're really going to want to watch. Like if you're wearing this every day, I would wear it inside your shirt until you're ready to actually use it. Just because if this gets caught on something, it's going to open this right up. This is going to separate, and I could see this breaking. So if you are using this as an EDC, I would wear it under your shirt until you're ready to perform it. That's just me. I just don't want anybody to purchase this and then, it breaks, because that would suck. So overall, I think the quality is good, right? It is made out of silver, but I think it has that, you just have to have some caution with it, maybe how you're wearing this. And I wouldn't do the blister. I would just use that as a revelation or make a prediction of some sort. But again, just use with discretion. So the tutorial, I haven't seen the finished tutorial because I got this early to review, but just watching how to do this, I actually, once I had it in my hands, like I didn't know how this worked when I watched the trailer, because it's kind of like a puzzle, right? So not having this, I had no idea what the method was. But actually holding this, I actually got it to work before watching the tutorial, which you shouldn't do just because you can wreck things that way. But I don't know. I was excited for this. I saw it and I thought, this looks really cool. No idea how it works. So when I got it, I kind of played around with it. And, I think I figured it out fairly quickly, but I wouldn't say that, anybody watching you perform this would have any idea how this works. With that said, as soon as I watched the brief tutorial that I got just to show the method, it's very easy to do. Very easy to do. It's just you're going to want to take some time to practice it so that you can be smooth and consistent with it, so that you can get the ring on there as quick as possible, so that they're not seeing you fiddle around or, move your hands too much. Because as you saw in the trailer, which I'm sure you've watched before watching this review, it can happen almost instantaneously, right? Just a little bit of cover and it's done. So, you'll get there. It's just, at first, it's going to take some practice to get the feel down, but that's one of those things, like, I guess a bit knacky at first is the word people often use. Once you get a feel for it and some practice, you're going to do this no problem. So that kind of covers the tutorial that I've seen, as well as difficulty angles. There are no angle restrictions when you're doing this, because you do have to cover it, right, to not expose the method. So that covers your front, that covers the sides. It's close enough to your body to where even if you're surrounded, nobody's going to see what you're doing, right? So it'll look like that. Your ankles are covered. Set up and reset, it's instant, right? There is really no reset, because this isn't gimmicked right? It's in the design, so you don't have to reset anything. Setup, there's nothing, right? You just throw it on and you're good to go. Your reset is happening when you remove the ring. Then you're good to go on to the next performance. Can it be inspected? Can it be examined? Yeah, there's no reason it can't, right? Because like you've read on the Kickstarter, and like I've mentioned, it's not gimmicked in any way. In the description, the secret is there is no secret, and there really isn't. And this does work as a pendulum. I'm just testing that out right now. But so now it just became a mentalism piece. So that's neat. Pocket space. So one of the nice things about wearable magic is it doesn't take up any pocket space. Is it a worker, and who would use this? So absolutely, this is a worker. I think this is perfect for your everyday use. If you're doing strolling, walk around, table hopping, anything like that, this is perfect, right? Or just if you're a casual performer, you have this on, you're ready to go. That's the nice thing about finger ring magic, is that easily borrowed, or if you're wearing a ring, as I do, just so that you're always ready, then you have it on you, right? And you can always hand this out to somebody to see that it's not gimmicked, or it's not a magic ring or a magic prop. It's just a regular ring. It's connected all the way around, right? So if you can't borrow a ring, then it's something that's very easily examined. You can perform your ring magic and then use this as an additional phase that I think is very convincing and very powerful, especially at the end when you pull the ring through the chain. Like, I think it looks very good. I mean, you're using a bit of cover, but I still think it's pretty open. So I think it looks good. Definitely a worker. And who would use this? So close-up performer, strolling performer, restaurant, walk around, tableside. And now mentalist too, right? Because it does 100% work as a pendulum, which I think is neat, because I think the design, like the way this looks, it's kind of got that mysterious look to it. So not only do you have like a magician's hand and a wand, but you have these kind of, I don't know if they're actual symbols or not, but almost these kind of ancient looking symbols on the side. So it adds a element of mystery to the overall piece. Sorry about that noise. It's my computer sounds very bad because it's cold in here. It's the middle of winter, and right now we're at -50, so the floor gets really cold. Cement floor. So if that kicks in, I apologize. So mentalists can use this too, or somebody who does readings, or anything that would involve a pendulum. This works well. What's the price, and is it worth your money? So again, this is part of the most recent Kickstarter project. I would pick this up now opposed to later, because right now you're going to get this for $79, whereas when it retails, it'll be $129. And that higher price tag is because this is made out of actual silver, so it's going to cost more, as anything that's made out of silver over steel or iron or brass or any other metals. Pros, cons, positives, negatives. The pros: definitely a nice piece, right? It's I think it's very fitting for the magician and also the mentalist. I like the design. I like the way it looks. I like everything about it. I like the finish on it. I like all the symbols. I think it's awesome. Other positive: extremely easy to use with some practice, right? You could call this a positive or a negative, and that's that this is made out of silver, because it ups the price, which may be a negative for some. And it also makes it, I don't want to say weak. It's not like this is just going to break if you drop it, or, it's not that fragile. I just noticed when doing the blister effect, it wasn't hard to push this together. And I feel that because it's metal, if you do that repeatedly, you will get a weak point and it could break. And then also, you're going to want to watch how you are wearing this when you're not performing. So depending, what you do in your everyday life or your job or something like that, if you're around things where this can get caught on or snag on, or if you're quite active, then you are really going to watch, because if this pulls, it'll open up, and again, it'll cause that middle area to become weak, I believe. I don't know for sure. So the fact that it's silver, you could call that a positive or a negative depending on how you want to look at it. It does make this more elegant. If it was made out of like a stainless steel with a finish, then it would be stronger. So you'll kind of have to decide whether that's a positive or a negative for you. And then the $129 price could be quite pricey, right? But it's hard to give that a negative when, you consider that it's made out of real silver and that you don't have to pay that much for it. Because if you get this now, you're going to get it for $79. You're saving a lot of money by getting it that way. Anyway, I think I've kind of covered everything I can about the frame. If you have any questions, leave that in the comments. And with that, we'll see you at the next review.